What is up, guys, and welcome to another league racing video on the channel. Today it's not an LCR video, so it's going to be a different league racing video here because I do a second league next to LCR, which explains why I'm the Aston Martin. We're on the intermediates as well, but I'll get to that in a minute. So the league that we are doing here today is SLR, Summit League Racing. And I joined this league back in December last year. I really enjoyed it, so I decided to come back for season 8. It's in its 8th season, and we're racing in the memory of Callum McKeown, who has the upper division named after him. As in this league, we are in Division 1, which is basically split 2. So we're looking to try and challenge for the championship and get promoted to the McKeown division. So, why on earth am I on the intermediate tyres? I'll tell you now. So, SLR is a bit different to LCR, so it is doing the entire qualifying session, so Q1, Q2 and Q3, and we're on the intermediate tyres because there's only 15 of us, and so we're basically guaranteed to go through into Q1, so we don't really need to put any effort on the slick tyres. So here we go on the intermediate tyres, across the line, it's a 27.0 and we're up into P3, so we've done the fastest lap out of everyone else, so we're guaranteed to go through into Q2. So, yeah, that was Q1 basically. So it was pretty easy. We got through on the intermediate tyres nearly 2 seconds quicker than Arbon on the intermediate tyres. So that's pretty good. But we're going to move into Q2. Now, the strategy for Q2 is we're going to try and use the medium compound tyres to get through, because we do not want to use the soft tyres in this race at all. It is the worst race tyre out of all 3 compounds. So we're going to try and use the middle compound, the medium compound tyres, to get through to Q3. So, here we go then. This is the one lap we're going to do because we don't want to wear the tyres out too much. As we go through turn 7 and through turn 8, we get a little bit loose on the rear end. And that is going to cost us a little bit of time, but we are still running at the minute. Go through turn 9, very easy to spin off to the wall on the right hand side. We go purple as we go through turn 10, not a hairpin there. It's very easy to get wrong on the braking through turns 11 and 12 now. The sweeping right-hander as we get on the exit, very nicely done. As we go through the Mickey Mouse section now, the chicane, this awful chicane where it's very easy to ruin the lap as you go wide through that penultimate corner. And through the last corner now, across the line we go. What is it going to be here? And it's a 17.1 and we go into P5. So at this point I thought, oh, well that lap's pretty good. So we should be able to get through into Q3. However, this has backfired on us because, as you can see, we have been demoted to P12, and there's some people that got through on the soft tyre as well. So yeah, not ideal. We didn't want to use the softs, and our stubbornness has come to hit us there. We miss out on our chance in Q3, and in Q3, Sync West, Elite Risk and Chito make the top 3, and that's not ideal. We definitely could have been challenging for pole. We didn't do much practice, but I still felt quite confident in my pace. But we're going to try and make do with P12. We're going to be going from the medium tyres to the hard tyres, because apparently medium soft is possible, but I don't want to end up managing in the soft tyres towards the dying stages of the race. And as you can see in the race director, this is where it gets worse, because we have to contend with some soft runners in front of us, so we have to get them out of the way, because they're going to be pitting pretty early in this race to the hard tyres to make the one-stop work. So, here we go then, preparing for the start of the race after formation lap. Qualifying was quite frustrating because we didn't get through into Q3, and SLR Ham did the same thing as us. But here we go, what can we do from 12th place on the grid for the Spanish Grand Prix, the first video in SLR. And we are underway for the Spanish Grand Prix, and as you can see, it's not the best of starts for us, as we've got Shut Medal right side by side with us, going through down the straight towards turn 1. We're just going to try and take it cautiously, as we don't want to end up getting in a collision or spinning out as SLR Ham cuts across us there. He has a bit of a moment himself, and that allows Shut Medal to go off the track and overtake us. So we've lost a position to the Mercedes car, which is not ideal, as we're trying to get back in front of him, just trying to make sure we just keep it on the track, really, as there's a lot of commotion going on in front of us as well. So we're going to try and prep a move on Shot Meadow. He's on the inside, he moves back on the right, and he brakes early, and we tap the back of him, and that allows his teammate SLR Jam to get through as well. So just like that, we have lost 2 places on the opening lap, and Gibson was looking to have a go, but we're trying to get back ahead of Jam here through turn 9. We get a good run. We're going to try and use some of the battery early on. We're going to try and go down the inside, but as we do so, Shut Medal breaks so early, and we're 3 wide, and he doesn't give us any room on the inside, and we have to cut the corner. And on the first lap, we have got a warning for exceeding track limits, which is very, very frustrating. So I knew that this was going to be a long race as long as we're stuck behind Shut Medal, who apparently doesn't know how to drive because he just braked so early through turn 10. I don't understand why, but here we go. We're going to try and pass Jam now, using all of the battery here on this second lap of the race. We're pretty fuming at the minute. We just want to try and get track position as we go down the inside. Into turn 1, we cover the outside line as well, making sure he doesn't get a switchback, and we are up into P13. We are 1 place behind Shut Medal now, as lap 3, DRS has been enabled, so now we're going to have to make sure that we just manage the ERS and manage the tyres, because we're going to be in a DRS train. As we go through turn 3 though, there's a few cars that have gone off. Ham and my teammate as well are involved, and we have gained 3 places. We are into the top 10, but unfortunately, we have lost time to the cars in front, so the DRS train has already been broken. So, and also we're behind LP Smoke, who is also involved in that collision. He's down in P9 and he's on the softs. So Shot Medal has basically put 1 car in between us, so we're the 3rd car in the DRS train, and we're not going to be able to pass Smoke as long as he gets DRS from Medal. So, you know, you kind of have to take a punch to give 2, but I don't think that's ideal whatsoever, as he's already got a penalty as we got through to lap 5. Not much is happening here. I mean, it's Catalonia. You're not going to find many opportunities to overtake, especially if you're in a DRS train. So, but the good news is we've knocked Jam out of our DRS range, as there goes Smoke on Shut Medal, as we're going to try and get close enough, but we don't really have the straight line speed. But crucially, look at that. We're 5 laps into this race. We've got another 28 to go. And this guy has ran out of ERS already. I do not understand Shut Medal whatsoever. Like, what's going on? I mean, where's the ERS management? You can see we've nearly got a full battery of ERS and he's just got nothing. So this overtake should be quite easy, but it's not going to be, because we're still the 3rd car in the DRS train. And as a result, there's not much we can do except hope we can make an overtake somewhere else as we come through to the end of lap 6, and he gets a 3-second time penalty as well. So yeah, we're really being held up here. As you can see, the pace isn't looking too great. We've just gone half a second slower, so we're really losing quite a bit of time to the guys in front, as we're quite quick compared to some people in this division. So we can definitely challenge at the front as long as we manage to get good track position, which is exactly what's not happening with us right now, as we're on lap 7 and we're still in this DRS train. As Smoke goes pretty wide through turn 4, but doesn't really amount to anything. He's got DRS of the car in front of McLaren, I think is Zach, and he's struggling on his softs as well. So they're really creating a blockade, and we've lost touch to the race leaders. So everyone from 5th to 1st has basically pulled away, and I don't think we're going to catch them, because if we're the car in front of this train, we're just going to bleed time to everyone else on the DRS straights. So it's not ideal. As you can see there, lap 7, Zach pits, and we get a 2nd warning for track limits. So we're going to have to stay clean for another 26 laps, as we now are finally going to make the move on Shut Medal. ERS and DRS used, as we get the job done pretty easily. We cover the inside line as well, just to make sure he doesn't get another chance to overtake. And there you go, we are up into 8th place in this Spanish Grand Prix. Considering we started 12th, that's not too bad. That's pretty decent. So now we can try and push on and stay in the DRS of LP Smoke, who is struggling on his tyres. As we skip to the end of lap 8, we've gone green in the first 2 sectors, as the pace is looking a little bit better since we have a bit more clean air to ourselves, as Smoke comes into the pits on lap 8, and now finally we have some clean air and we can push on and try and get Shut Medal out of our DRS as we start lap 9 of this race. We cut to the end of it because nothing much is happening. We get Shut Medal out of our DRS range, which is absolutely brilliant. And as you can see to the top left of your screen, Arvin is 2.5 seconds ahead, and I'm asking the engineer about the pace comparison because he's on the same strategy as us. As we cut to lap 11, the gap is still around 2.3 seconds. We're just maintaining the gap without using too much ERS. And this is where things die down a little bit, because we are still trying to catch him as we have a moment there through turn 12. We get caught on the curb, and just like that, as you can see, the gap at the top left, it has increased now to 3.1. So, not ideal. We've just lost half a second, maybe even more, from that mistake alone. As we cut to lap 15, we continue to push on, as we've got the gap down to 1.9 seconds now. So, Arbin is behind Tooman, and I think he's struggling on his medium tyres. I think he's going to pit a little bit earlier than everyone else, as we make the same mistake again through turn 12. That's the second time we've got away with that, and I'm just trying to tell myself at this stage, just to make sure we don't do it again, as we've lost another 3, 4, 5 tenths of a second to Arbin and Tooman in front. So it's quite frustrating. We just need to make sure we keep it on the track as we end lap 16. Again, we've got the gap down to just less than 2 seconds. But crucially here, watch Tooman here in the Alfa Romeo. He pits on lap 16, which means he's going to go onto these hard compound tyres to the end of the race, because apparently you can go to around lap 20 on the medium tyres and go for the soft to the end of the race, a bit like Portimao, which is strange to me. So I'm not going to risk that whatsoever, and we're going to respond to Tooman by pitting the next lap. The tyres were around 60% or maybe over that as well, as you see the orange icon on your screen as we come into the pits on lap 17. So we've taken his tyres to half distance, which is pretty good, but I think for next time we'll try medium soft, but we're going the hards because I think that will be the better race tyre towards the end of the race. And as you can see, we come out of the pits and we are 1.2 seconds behind Tooman, so we've managed to gain quite a bit with the overcut. As you can see here, we cut to the end of lap 19, and as you can see here, there were yellow flags I think for LP Smoke, who was really struggling, but crucially we're in Tooman's DRS range, so we could now be thinking about sizing up a move. But as you can see there's a car coming out of the pit, and that's Arbin, and he's gone for the soft compound tyres, and look at that, he's ahead of us. He's ahead of Tooman, and he's ahead of me, so Tooman's undercut has not worked out whatsoever. The pace must not have been there for Tooman on his first few laps on the hard tyres. And once again, we are the third car in a DRS train, which is not ideal, and now it's pretty urgent for us to pass Tooman, but it's not going to be easy, because again, we're the third car in a DRS train. There's absolutely nothing we can do, and if we don't get this move done quickly, Arbin is just going to pull away, which is not ideal. As you can see there on the end of lap 21, he sets the fastest lap of the race, and now at this point we need a response, so we're going to use all the battery here on Tooman. We're going to go down the inside, and I don't think he puts up too much of a fight as he doesn't. He lets us go there. He knows what's best for the race, and we are pretty much quicker than him at this stage. So there we go, we make the move pretty easily. We are up into P7, but unfortunately we've lost nearly 3 seconds to Arbin, as the gap is just under 2.8 seconds. So yeah, that's how much time you can lose around Spain. That's why track position is so crucial around here. But we cut to lap 22, the end of it anyway, and with our pace is looking pretty good. We set our purple first sector, a personal best in the middle sector, and across the line we go. We do an 18.7 when the fastest lap at this point in time was an 18.3. So as you can see there, the pace was pretty strong on the hard compound tyres, but catching Arbin was not really going to be a possibility. As we cut to lap 27, nothing much was happening, but we are catching up to an AlphaTauri called J. Lee Menz. Now this is quite interesting because he pitted on lap 10, and he pitted for the medium compound tyres, so he has been on his tyres since lap 10. Our tyres are 7 laps younger, and they are the better race tyre at this stage of the race. He's going to be struggling on his tyres, as Arbin is just under 4 seconds up the road. We're trying to get a bit close to him, but we're not close enough. We don't really have the straight line speed at this point in the race. I was running 810 wings for this one, so you know we're not going to be great in a straight line. But we are thinking about making the move. We are getting closer and closer to J. Lee Menz as we keep up with him through the end of the next lap. As here we go, we're going to get DRS. We're going to try and make the move this time. We're going to use up the battery once again to compensate for not being too great in a straight line. Here we go then. J. Lee Menz knows it. He goes defensive. He's got no ERS as his red light's flashing. Can we make the move around the outside? No, he can't. He has more confidence than us under braking, and he stays ahead for the time being. We're trying to make this move because we want to try and keep up with Arbin's penalty range. He's just 4 seconds up the road. We can't lose too much time fighting J. Lee Menz. So we're going to have to make this move pretty quickly as we cut to the end of the next lap, lap 29, and we are still following J. Lee Menz. We have dropped Tooman, he is 3 seconds behind, so we were much quicker. And now here we go. I think 5th place is going to be the maximum we can get today. But here we go then, DRS, his red light's flashing, surely we're going to make the move. Round the outside once again, but again he has more confidence under the braking. And we're side by side through turn 2 and round turn 3. Looks like he's got the advantage, but we're trying to hang on round the outside. We've got more ERS than Menz as we go through turn 4. Can we do what Danny Kvyat has done in the past? Go round the outside at turn 4. It's the better line on the outside. We have the inside line for the next corner, but Menz has so much better traction and he's ahead. This is absolutely brilliant racing here in Spain. Who says you can't race around Spain? I'd like to. Well, it's clear that you can race around Spain in a league race. But here we go then. We're going to try again. The opportunity is there. We came close on the last lap. We couldn't quite do it. But this time, we're going to go to the inside line. And there you go. We are up into 5th place from 12th on the grid. And I think that is pretty smashing. But unfortunately, we're a bit too far to Arbon and Elite Risks as he's like 6 seconds ahead. As we cut to the end of the lap 33, we're on the last lap of this race, and we've managed to pull away from J. Lee Menz, who was really struggling on their medium tyres. As, yeah, we're going to come through and finish in P5. Sorry for the crackling around, you might hear it in the background with the car audio, because I think that might have been my stream. But here we go then, across the line, and it's going to be P5 in the Spanish Grand Prix, and I will definitely take that. We only finished 2.4 seconds behind Arbon in the end because of the penalty, so if not for the poor start, we could have been stuck in like DRS trains. I think we definitely could have challenged for a podium here today, but I think P12 to P5 is not bad at all, considering it gets around Spain, where it's quite difficult to overtake. So Jitter wins, Sync West is 2nd, Elite Risk is 3rd, Arbon's 4th, and we're P5, and our teammate finished P9 as well. So, in the championship, we are P5, tied on points with Shut Medal, 40 points behind Jitto though, so we've got a little bit of work to do as the mid part of the season begins in SLR. So, we're 40 points behind, we're currently 5th, which ain't too bad at all, considering we've only done 2 races. We missed 2 races in Bahrain, and I think there was another one. I can't remember which one it was. And this has an impact on the constructors, as we are currently 4th, looking to push to 3rd place, 4 points behind Ferrari. So yeah, so far so good, but we're definitely going to try and make a push towards the front. But that, guys, is the end of today's video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Check out Twitch to see my league racing streams every week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, goodbye.